Bendición, El Conquistador, back with another video. So I want to do a video since the full moon is out tomorrow at the time of this recording, tomorrow and Monday. Today's Saturday night. Let's get into it. Did you know that the sun is an orisha? His name is Orun. Did you know that the earth is an orisha? Her name is Ileogere. And finally, did you know that the moon is an orisha and her name is Oshupa or Oshupa, or if it's like old school Cuban, with the accents and all that, Ochukwa. The moon itself is a powerful orisha, and it is an energy. She is an energy unto itself. Just like the earth is an energy and Ashe unto itself, the sun is an energy unto itself. For what is the sun but a blazing ball of fire in the sky? Who is fire? Aina. So the sun is not Aina, but Aina is fire, Ina. And the sun is considered an orisha. And the owner of the sun, Olorun. And what is the moon but one giant ota in the sky? The moon is the godmother. La luna es la madrina de Aye. The moon is the godmother of the Aye, of the witches of the night. And as such, the moon shares tendencies with Egun and muertos of all kinds. The moon lights the way for the Aye, for the witches. The patakin associated with the moon is that Oshupa is the wife, the moon is the wife of the sun, and they had many children together, i.e. stars. So this is Yoruba, this is Ocha mythology. That the moon, the sun and the moon, they had children, i.e. stars. All of the boys and girls, they stayed with the mother, with the moon, until the boys grew up and wanted to see where their father went each day for work. And look, got a little spider in the way, and I'm not going to redo this video. And so the sons went out to follow their father, the son, to work. The son saw this and was enraged, was jealous when he saw his sons follow him to work, and he witnessed their brilliance as they too lit up the sky like he did. So Orun, so the sun, decided to punish them and chase them away. He scared them away. The boys, they stumbled and tripped over each other, not knowing their way back to their mother, back to the moon. And in a panic, they all ran and they stumbled over each other and they fell into the ocean and died. The sisters, however, they never left their mother's side. The sister stars never left the moon's sides. And this explains why the moon is always accompanied by her daughters, the stars, who surround her, while their father must forever rise alone, a reminder that it is because of him that all of his sons are dead due to his outbursts. This is the Ocha explanation as to why when the sun is out, we don't see any stars, because all of his children, all of his sons died in the ocean. And when the sun, his job is done, and the moon, she rises, all of a sudden her children come out and are visible to the naked eye. More information, everything gets weaker when the sun is waning, when it gets emptier, when the sun shrinks. We call this a waning moon. And for this reason, all brujeria, all ritual endeavors in the spiritual world, and all endeavors for work or for money or new ventures of all sorts should not be performed or attempted while the moon is in its shrinking phase. Inversely, while the moon is in its waxing phase and getting bigger, from the time there's a new moon to the time there's a full moon, is the best time for one's brujeria, for one's even in the old days when someone would go to the monte when it had to do it with palo. The moon is honestly, most people don't think about the moon or praise the moon, but there are indeed prayers and oriki and songs to Ochukwa. Most people don't take any of this into consideration. It's just a giant light bulb in the sky, but she's an orisha. Every morning I greet Orun every single morning with Omitutu and Omoyuba and everything. And the moon is the same thing. So nowadays, unless you're like really into like Wicca or New Ageism or like Greek astrology and whatnot, most people don't care. Like if I gotta do some kind of a bowl, I'm not gonna think about whether the moon is waxing, waning, new, or full. I'm just gonna do a bowl. But old school, when I say old school, I'm talking about like the 1910s, like between 1860 and 1930. Old school ocha, I should say, dictated, and old school palo dictated any trabajos, voces, working of birthing new ingangas, birthing new orisha, or anything that had to do with being buried and then brought back up out of the ground. It was done not during what's it called, when the moon's going down, waning moon. Continuing on, because I know I can just ramble. So everything gets weaker when the moon is waning, getting smaller, yada yada yada. Milk. So what is an adimu for the moon? Milk. Omitutu. When there's a full moon coming up, I'm gonna go outside and I'm gonna bring a hikara. I'm gonna bring a hikara of water. I'm gonna bring a hikara of milk. The milk is I'm gonna start with omitutu, anatutu, achetutu, iletutu, tutu lana, tutu la roba, tutu la roye, tutu ile ogere, tutu orimi. And touch the puntos of ori. It's a whole different topic. Tutu ochukwa, tutu irawo, tutu bogbo irawo. The moon is refreshed. All the stars, bogbo irawo, are refreshed, and that goes directly on ochungere because I can't put water on the moon. And then I'm gonna recite a moyuba with the milk, and I leave it on the ground, I leave it in the grass, and I leave it to the moon. What else? Snakes are associated with the moon as well. Yemaya, Olokun, clearly because of the ocean, are associated with Ochukwa, with the moon as well. Snakes, interestingly, the albino boa constrictor, specifically the boa constrictor, even more specifically the albino boa constrictor, what's the word for snake? Eje? I can't remember the exact word for snake, but the snake is associated with Obatala. The Nanaburuku is associated with snakes. The snakes are associated with the moon. Now, what are the Lukumi names for the moon? The waxing moon is Ochukwa Oshure. Ochukwa Oshure, or Ochure. Wherever there's an S, it technically makes a sh sound, sh. But, Oshupa turns into Ochupa, Oshure, Ochure. The waxing moon, where the moon's getting bigger. And then that waxing moon turns into a full moon, Ochukwa Guamuco. Ochukwa Guamuco. And then, okay, now we have, a full moon, and then it's going to start getting small. It's going to shrink. It's going to turn to a waning moon. Ochukwa Aro. Ochukwaro. And what else? The name of a new moon, I do not have that. Maybe, I don't know, maybe shit. A new moon is where there's no moon present. So maybe it's Ko Ochukwa, because Ko usually is negation, is like not existent of. Like when we say Ko Siku, let there not be death. So maybe new moon, if anybody knows what the word for new moon in Lukumi is, let me know in the comments below. Maybe it's Ko Ochukba, like no moon. Who knows? Anything else? Interesting information. It was believed by the old Cubans that when a person, depending on where the moon was in the phase, it was, it's superstition, I guess, but, no disrespect to the people that lived in the 1890s. that if a child was born during a full moon, it was a beautiful omen. This person was going to be something big in life, or a successful santero, or just something influential in the world. If a child was born during a waxing moon while the moon was getting bigger and bigger, it was considered a good sign that the child was going to grow up to be a healthy, tall person, and of course, successful. It was a telling sign of their success in life and how healthy they grow up and are born as a baby. If a baby was born during a waning moon, it was a sign that the pregnancy is going to be a difficult one, a sign that the child is going to grow up to be weak, sickly, perhaps problematic, maybe not all there in the head, born with some kind of issues. Um, yeah. And then for a new moon, new moons are considered positive as well. So that would be in line with growing up with health and longevity. Perhaps if a child was born on a red moon, a blood moon, that was considered a really, really bad omen to not cross. There was this thing about not crossing rivers. I'm talking about old Lukumi, like 1890s. Um, the During a blood moon, it was considered a really bad omen. Just the moon turning red. Don't be outside. Don't cross any rivers during that time. It's a time of Osobo. It's a phenomenon. So if you had 10 on your head or Fun on your head, you wouldn't be out to go look at the blood moon, because that's considered a phenomenon. Same thing. Some people who have 10 at their feet or their head, they may not be able to go out at night, and they have to avoid certain phenomena, celestial phenomenons. So eclipses, blood moons, super moons, blue moons, and maybe technically even a full moon would be kind of considered a phenomenon, because it's not an everyday occurrence. It is, you could look at it that the moon turning really, really big and then turning really, really small and then turning really, really big and really, really small. Those are examples of phenomena that, like, how we go from half of the month, the was it 30 every 30 days? I don't know. I'm not an astrologer. But how do we go from a big blue or yellow light bulb in the sky to eventually it turns into nothing and the sky is just black? Those can be considered phenomena. So this is something to keep in mind. Like I said, there are oriki, there are orin ochukwa, there are songs to ochukwa, there are prayers to ochukwa, which I'm not going to get into for this particular video because this video is already long enough. So let me know what you thought of this particular video. Let me know if you've seen anybody praise ochukwa, the moon. I've never seen it done before, and I personally, as my time as a santero, and even before then, I've never seen anybody acknowledge the moon in any way, shape, or form. And now that I think about it, the moon is important to Owatala, definitely. And not just because snakes are associated with the moon as well, not just because milk is left out for the moon as well, but one of the tools of Owatala includes the moon. So there you go. Owatala is associated with the moon. The witches are associated with the moon. Muertos associated with the moon. Yemaya. Who else? Yemaya. Olokun and any of the witches. Yewa, Oba, Oya. Basically, like, all the female orishas are a bunch of witches. And we know that the moon is the madrina of the witches, and lights the way while they roam the night. So let me know what you think of this video. El Conquistador over and out. Peace out.